What's up, guys? Welcome back to Curious Chaos, where we are curious about art and get chaotic with our designs. You guys can call me Krimson the Space Pirate, and today, on this spooky video, I want to explore the world of cosmic horror. Oddly enough, for someone like me who is extremely interested in all things extraterrestrial, I was never really familiar with the term cosmic horror. It was only until recently that I discovered it, and for those who are in the same boat or spaceship as me, cosmic horror is a genre of fictional horror that characterizes the fear or realization that humans are insignificant creatures in comparison to the vast universe. That the possibility of extreme cosmic forces beyond our comprehension exist, and that how glimpsing this terrifying reality can drive people into madness. Now, there is a wide spectrum of what things can be considered cosmic horror, and a lot of it was popularized by author H.P. Lovecraft, who created works like The Calling of Cthulhu, which you might recognize. But with such a variety of representation of the genre, I wanted to create Pokemon that cover the bases of these different depictions of cosmic horror. So today, I'll be creating Pokemon that each range from goofy to more serious and dark themed designs. Not much more else to be said, so let's get started with one of the more sillier designs. The first media of cosmic horror we're going to turn into a Pokemon is from the movie Killer Clowns from Outer Space. I really love clowns and evil clown characters, so I was super excited to draw this. At first I was going to create an original design, but after some sketches, I was realizing that my designs were looking too scary for what Pokemon are supposed to be. Because as much as cosmic horror can be scary, Pokemon's design philosophy still demands for the design to look approachable. So in an effort to keep my design on the cuter side, I decided to create a regional variant of an already existing clown-like Pokemon, that being Mr. Mime. I thought this was perfect because Mr. Mime is already considered very uncanny by a large portion of Pokemon fans. So leaning into that creepiness and reimagining it into a creepy clown that is no doubt out to get you for real is really funny. For those unfamiliar with Killer Clowns from Outer Space, a quick summary of the plot is that a strange meteor crash lands on Earth, and emerging from the meteor are human-eating clown aliens. They go around kidnapping and harvesting innocent humans and display a large array of unnatural powers. The movie is a bit gruesome, but only as much as late 1980s effects could get you. And although not incredibly horrific like other cosmic horror creatures, Killer Clowns from Outer Space perfectly lays the groundwork for what cosmic horror can look like. An unexplainable creature that suddenly appears before us and immediately demonstrates its supernatural force, leaving us to wonder what will become of us. That in its purest form is what cosmic horror is. It's almost like the saying, there's always a bigger fish. Or I guess in this case, a clown. Meet Mr. Grime, the monster clown Pokemon. It's said that echoes of wailing souls can be heard coming from the open gap in Mr. Grime's abdomen. Eating from the pie Mr. Grime offers is not advised, as it is made of powerful acid. When I was creating this design, I was worried about the final product looking like a Pokemon Unite costumed up version of the regular Mr. Mime, since it has what looks like a lot of clothes patterns. But it wasn't until I looked at another regional variant of Mr. Mime that I realized, oh, he's literally just wearing clothes. I'm good. And I think I managed to capture that creepy but still approachable factor, which is what I was struggling with at the beginning. And yes, the shiny is based on Ronald McDonald. Now let's move away from 1980s film and jump to a more modern movie that showcases a unique approach to cosmic horror. Jordan Peele's Nope is a very fun twist or reimagination of the classic UFO sighting trope, demonstrated by the anomalous creature known as Jean Jacket. Taking inspiration from jellyfishes and possibly even atmospheric jellyfishes, Jean Jacket has an almost blanket or cloth material body, as the name suggests. Jean Jacket's design is both ethereal as well as intimidating, and pulling off a design that does that is very rare in my opinion. And I think that's a perfect representation of cosmic horror, because the actual cosmos is the same way. Looking at outer space is one of the most beautiful things, but in reality, space is one of, if not the most scariest place to be in due to unbelievable pressures, temperatures, loneliness, things like black holes, supernovas, cosmic voids, rogue asteroids. The list goes on and on. Literally, we could be here for light years. See what I did there? The point is, space is a really scary place, but is extremely fascinating to observe. That, in a way, is very horrific. And the same applies to Jean Jacket. And that's why I thought it'd be a perfect fit for a cosmic horror Fakemon. But now the only issue is, how the heck do I turn a ragcloth into a Fakemon? Well, it really was a challenge when thinking of how to give it a face so I could show expressions and have that approachable look. But all those obstacles vanished when I decided to make this Fakemon into an Ultra Beast. Ultra Beasts in the Pokemon universe are their versions of canonical aliens in the series. They don't follow the same criteria regular Pokemon do and have very extraordinary features that really solidify those extraterrestrial vibes. So turning this into a UB was also another perfect fit. I decided to stop trying to give it a face and rather give it a sort of core that could change brightness and color to convey emotions, sort of like how Starmie does. The real Jean Jacket has a green square eye thing that is like a bunch of tiny tendrils. It's a very weird and complex design, and trying to incorporate it into a Fakemon design proved a bit challenging, so a glowing green orb was a lot easier and seems to still fit the vibe well enough. Meet Anomaloom from Anomalous and Fabric Loom, codenamed UB Silk. It appeared from a wormhole. Witnesses observed it fold itself into a strange saucer shape and fly off with a Miltank. I'm really happy with how this design came out. It really does feel like a UB to me, and I think it's odd that I've never made a UB Fakemon before. You would think the space guy of all people would have made a Pokemon's version of Alien's Fakemon by now, right? But here we are. I'd say for my first attempt at an Ultra Beast, I did quite alright. But okay, Jean Jacket was one of Cosmic Horror's newer entries, but how about we go back to one of the pioneers of the genre and look at probably one of the best representations of Cosmic Horrors and what sets the foundation to what the genre truly is. Now, we spoke about author H.P. Lovecraft at the beginning of the video, and although I mentioned Cthulhu then, I decided to make a Fakemon for what is arguably the runner-up for Lovecraftian Cosmic Horror's poster child. The reason I did this was because since Cthulhu is so popular, Fakemon created from it isn't so uncommon. Other reasons were that Azathoth just gives me more Cosmic Horror vibes than Cthulhu does, but also, I made a poll on my Discord server between the two, and Azathoth outvoted Cthulhu by a landslide. Link in the description to the new server, by the way. Now, when it comes to what Azathoth looks like, there's not really a great description. A lot of the depictions of Azathoth differ, but from what I've seen, the majority depict it as an amorphous blob with several eyes and mouths everywhere. Unbelievably ginormous and with a bunch of tentacle-like tendrils that squirm all around it. Some liken its appearance to that of a black hole, and others play it into a more squid/octopus-like creature with the tentacles having suction cups and its eyes resembling more so those of the cephalopod family. I thought it'd be fun to keep these two different concepts in mind, but it was a bit difficult to make a Pokemon that was just a blob with tentacles. Like, my initial designs just seemed so boring to me, and I felt like drawing a circle with wibbly wobbly tubes coming out of it was super lazy, so I decided to try another form of Fakemon I haven't tried before. And this time, I was inspired by Wishy-Washy's schooling form. I always thought this form was really clever and impressive, so I used a bit of Azathoth's lore to pull this off. Azathoth is said to be in constant slumber, and it's even theorized that since Azathoth is so extremely powerful, being the legit embodiment of curious chaos, that even when it's asleep, using its dreams alone, it created our entire universe and existence. If it were to ever wake up, the dream would be over and so too would be life as we know it. And real quick, that is the real reason why Azathoth is considered cosmic horror. Not only because it fits a description physically being a horrific alien creature, but also because the idea of a singular cosmic entity that knows nothing of us could decide to wake up and destroy our whole universe in a blink of a second, and we'd have no way of even preparing for it, rendering us completely helpless. That right there is cosmic horror. But back to what I was saying. In the theory, Azathoth is sleeping, but it only stays that way because it is constantly surrounded by hordes of more grotesque aliens that non-stop play hypnotic music to keep it in deep sleep. And that was where the idea for making it into a schooling-inspired form clicked. So I made tiny little octopus aliens with spiraling mouths form up and become Azathoth with a black hole-esque mouth. Meet Omniety, the chaotic Pokemon. From omnipotent, deity, and the real word omniety. Its solo form's dex reads, "When it roams alone, it's awfully calm and emits a soothing tune. Trainers say the flute-like sound helps them fall asleep." Thousands of these musically gifted squid alien thingies are pulled in together and group up in a very similar fashion to how planets are created, by a bunch of gas and dust getting spun in together by gravity and clumping together. The dex for the schooling form, or what I'm calling its overlord form, reads, Trainers say that when Omniities congregate together, it becomes the embodiment of chaos. The glowing cavity in its face is said to have similar properties to that of a black hole. For a creature that is as monstrous and gruesome as Azathoth, I think I managed to capture its essence well without going overboard on scary features. And that's partially thanks to my friends who helped me with feedback, because I initially was going to give it like a billion mouths and eyes everywhere, like if it were a biblically accurate demon or something, but regardless, this one was probably the scariest of the designs in this video. Of course, it can't be all that scary because it's Pokemon. So for this next one, it won't top Omniity in creepiness, or maybe it will, who knows. It'll be more of a funny concept since most people don't immediately think cosmic horror when they think of this. Okay, so far we've made a regional form, an Ultra Beast, a Pokemon that has a schooling form, but now I want to make a Fakemon that has not only a regular form, but both a past and future paradox form. And to start this off, we'll go quick and get the base form out first. If you haven't guessed what this is by now, it's a crewmate from Among Us. Real quick, for those who don't know, Among Us is literally one of my most favorite games. Like actually, I enjoy the game so much. I'm always looking for people to play it with me, so I try to host Among Us events on my Discord server for the wonderful server members to join me. So if that sounds fun to you, again, link in the description. Anyways, the whole purpose of crewmates are to perform tasks to uphold whatever setting they're in. And in some ways, this made me think of a bug colony. So that's why I'm turning this dude into a little bug. But also because bugs just look like tiny little aliens to me. So that's pretty much it. A bug among us. A bug us, if you will. Meet Crewmite, the Urgate Pokemon, from Crewmate and Mite. Its dex entry reads, researchers believe this species originated from outer space. Many workers enjoy having them around since they are quick to assist in any small tasks that they are given. Now, as you may know, crewmates come in all sorts of colors, and although I could have pulled a Minior and given them different color forms, I want to save the different color versions for the paradox forms. Speaking of which, let's take a look at the past paradox form, and the main reason why Among Us is technically considered a cosmic horror. This wouldn't be a proper Among Us Fakemon without the imposter counterpart. The imposters of the game have all sorts of abilities like mimicking, shapeshifting, using all sorts of sabotages, and can even expose a gaping mouth with a set of super jagged teeth. Not only does the Among Us imposter reveal inspirations from Lovecraftian creatures, but also, it's just super creepy to think about in a real life setting. Imagine you're at work and a coworker you see every day is going around secretly offing people, and it turns out they're really a shapeshifting alien pretending to be one of you. Man, hell nah. Like, it's really downplayed because of how cartoony and kiddish the style of the game is, but man, let's just say we're lucky that that doesn't exist. Anyway, I haven't drawn paradox forms much. I think I've only drawn both the future and past paradox Pokemon once before this, so I'm still learning this style. Seems that it's mostly just adding spikes, more fur / feathers, and usually sharp teeth. Common things are also like eye makeup markings, and the actual eye colors get a more feral look to them. But I'm pretty happy with how my creepy bug alien paradox form came out. Now, why make a past paradox form and not go all out with a future form as well, right? So, although this one doesn't have much to do with lore or anything, I thought it'd be really fun to make an Among Us astronaut thing using the style that future paradox forms are drawn in, with LED lights and metallic bodies. And I thought this would be a really fun way of incorporating the floating hands that Among Us crewmates display. I could use the technology of the paradox form to bring that to life, as well as adding rocket boot motifs and incorporating a reoccurring pattern that a bunch of future paradox forms have somewhere on their bodies, usually on their torso or abdomen. And so I did the same for this little guy. The LED helmet was really fun to make, and I could definitely imagine it making all sorts of different emotes, faces, and signs with the customizable lighting. Let me know what you think of all these guys. I was really happy I had an excuse to create an Among Us Fakemon since I had wanted to make one for a while now, but just never found a good opportunity to do it. The names for the past and future forms are Feral Mimic and Iron Explorer respectively. And that's pretty much it. Tell me which of the forms was your favorite. I am really happy that I got to try out drawing all different types of forms in today's video. We created a regional form, paradox forms, schooling forms, and even an Ultra Beast. Trying to balance out horror with cute and friendly designs was also a pretty fun challenge. I'd say it's good practice for how I'll move forward when I design aliens for my space-based creature collector project called the Revlar system. You can check out some of my videos for that project here in the top card if you're interested. And for existing fans, my next video will actually be about the Revelar system, so keep an eye out for that. But before you go, let me know which of these spooky boys was your favorite. Be sure to type it in the comments below and include this emoji in your message so I know that you've made it to the end. If you're craving more spooky vibes, Ron from the channel TrueGreen7 uploaded a spooky video first of its kind where artists create Fakemon police sketches based on a crime scene, where I was fortunate enough to be invited to participate in. So if you're interested in that, I'd recommend checking that out. And if that doesn't satisfy your need for spook, our friend Zeketastic has also released a spooky Fakemon video that is sure to shiver your timbers. Both of these videos will be in the description if you'd like to check them out after this video. Also, join the Discord server. There are several talented artists in there, and they're all kind people, so you'll very much feel welcome if you're hesitant to join. We also host a variety of events every now and then, ranging from art challenges that I plan to showcase in future videos, as well as just having a fun chill gaming night where you can play wacky games with everyone, including myself. So please, join the server by clicking the link in the description. Thanks again for making this far into the video, and for watching the video in general. Insert mandatory subscribe, like, and share voice line here. And that's all from me, guys. Until next time.